What up, Naughty Steppers? Connor Whitmore here again with another review for you on the Nawtystep channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a live review of the new 2-track EP from Skrillex, Show Tracks. Here we go. New, original, potentially heavy material from Skrillex. I am hyped. Show Tracks is a follow-up to a load of other collaborative work that Sonny Moore has done recently. The new Dog Blood EP, the Troy Boy collaboration, the new single with Licky Lee and Ty Dolla $ign, and more. And lest we forget, these two new surprise tunes are actually also collaborations. We have Fuji Opener with Alvin Risk and Mumbai Power with Beam. I must remind you all at this point that I have not been following the Skrillex ID train of late. There's one pretty full-on tune called Nawtystep or Ping Pong or something like that I've come across inadvertently a couple of times, and I have a decent idea of how that goes, so maybe one of these tunes will be that song. Bottom line though, besides all of that, and the fact that it's Skrillex, I'm refraining from getting my hopes up massively. Gonna go into it with a fresh, open mind and not expect anything, and appreciate them as they are, and hopefully get some good out of them in the process. Here we go. For those that may not be familiar, a live review is me listening to a track for the first time whilst recording. Kinda like a reaction video, but more about the review and response side of it. So I will be stopping the music at various points in order to give my thoughts while listening. Also the first time I'm covering 2 tracks in one live review, so I'm gonna try and be a little more concise than usual. But here we go, Skrillex, Show Tracks, let's do it. And first up of course, it's Fuji Opener with Alvin Risk. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry? Sorry? Isn't that, Skyclad by Alvin Risk? Hang on a second. Hang on a hot sec right now. Alvin Risk Skyclad. Okay. Got some thinking to do here. I think it's time to take the title of this track a little bit more seriously. Fuji Opener, okay, I didn't think about this at all, but this is obviously that show that he played in Japan a few months ago. And that's what makes me think even more that it is that Nawtystep Ping Pong ID, because in that, he does play that song. He does play that ID from what I remember. Maybe also, it isn't even an Alvin Risk collaboration. Maybe it's just that an Alvin Risk song is what he opened with for that set, and he's literally just taking this ID, which people know by this point, and releasing it as that. Oh my god, this is completely blowing my mind right now. It isn't an actual song. He's just releasing it as it is, as people have heard it, in a live setting, obviously with Skyclad in front of it. Oh my god, this is absolutely mad, like. So yeah, that's definitely thrown me, but we're gonna start it again with that in mind. Oh, hello. So long in the waiting. Oi! It's the one. Oi! 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 Oh, come on then! Yeah, I mean, that's the one alright. I've definitely heard clips of that where it sounds a little bit more rounded and fleshed out, and there is more going on, and that whole section... Oops, sorry about that. And that section has more of a kick and oomph to it. But, yeah, I'm still happy that it's seen the light of day and that Skrillex has kind of become aware of the fact that people love it and he's put it out in some way. I don't think it was ever going to be perfect. It's such a good idea and, you know, people have heard enough of it by this point and I think people just wanted it to be out there in some way. And he's done that, and I really rate him for that. It is a bit skeletal. There's not loads going on in terms of the layering of sound. It doesn't quite have that thwack, but I do like hearing it. I do like that it is here, ready for me to listen. And again. Okay. Oh, yeah! Oh! Come on! Woo! Okay. Oh, yeah, come on then. Lovely, lovely. Oh, don't like that snare. Oh, lovely. Okay, before we get on with Mumbai Power, quite a lot to dissect there with that final 2/3 of the track. So yeah, we had pretty much the same build to the second drop from what I remember. And that second drop originally didn't wow me completely. Didn't feel like there was quite enough going on, even though it was very intricate, very well kind of pieced together. But then it just picks up and up and up. And there were sounds in there that were 100% the best outright dubstep leaning synths that I've heard from Sonny in years, mate. They really blew me away. They were so riveting. Gosh, golly. Alright, nice little chill bit. That, oh, come on then! I mean, they're not incredible, but they've got that bite, that necessary sinister approach and feel that just really gets you here. And I really also don't want to play down how intricate it gets by that point. Yeah, really tricksy, detailed, and just really well pieced together. That little release to set off the outro is so good. And it makes me actually think that this might have been a collaboration and not just Skrillex toying with Skyclad, if you will, doing a kind of remix or VIP of it. It makes me think that they did actually work together on this track from its start to its finish, because it's refashioned in such a way that it really respects the original whilst also building on it quite substantially, which for me doesn't sound like a remix, it sounds more like a collaboration. So yeah, not gonna lie, I am pretty impressed by that track. Not completely blown away, but I think it's very good considering the standards that he's reached now, and also I think it's one that's just gonna grow on me more and more the more I listen to it. But yeah, that was Fuji Opener, and now we move on to Mumbai Power. Shimmering Water. Oh yeah, come on! Oh yeah, that is good. That, again, it's good. I really wasn't sure that first 20 or 25 seconds or so what we were going to get, but really, I think, you know, ironically, seeing as I was talking about the shimmering water of the beginning, I think with the way it develops and progresses, he has blown us out the water. It's a really crisp, sometimes jagged, future-based trap kind of section for the drop. Yeah, it's very bright, glistening, got this kind of arms up in the air, head back kind of feel to it. It's just really well cut. And I do like, actually, how the track kind of flipped on its head following the introduction. But it never went overboard, if you know what I mean. It could have gone... He could have taken it down a dark route, but I don't think that would have suited it in any way. Yeah, I think this one is piecing together really well. I think there's a theme running through it. And I don't think we're even... Oh no, we're almost halfway through. So yeah, decent amount to go still. And I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it. But yeah, I'm liking also the difference from the first track. It's a nice kind of contrast and juxtaposition we've got going on here. It's filling me with life. Lovely. That was breathtaking. The vocal was so soothing, and the way it built back into the instrumental before building again in this really effortless, seamless way. Yeah, it's just so all round, just really, really pure feeling and genuine and heartwarming almost. Again, it's got that amazing flow for the second drop, just everything playing off each other so well. Very glacial, again, I'm gonna have to say it again. It's got that reaching up to the heavens vibe to it. It's difficult to put down in my opinion. It's really kind of getting under my skin and filling me with life and energy. I love the way that it transitions from break to break, section to section, and that's including the outro, which again is another very pretty, blissful, euphoric sequence. Yeah, it just feels like it knows exactly what it wants to do, the feelings and emotions it wants to deliver, and just has that theme running through it, sticks with it, and is very consistent and just really delivers on all fronts in that respect. There was a really cheeky moment actually just before the second drop came in, and I'm just going to wind back to it now, see if you can spot what I mean. Did you spot it? So if you'll remember his remix of Cinema by Benny Benassi, before the drop goes drop the bass, and yeah, this actually happens here. It's repeated, but it fades off just before the drop comes in. That's cool. I mean, in a way I feel like it's a track I shouldn't be talking about on this channel because this is all about dark, naughty, heavy electronic music, and this is future bass and trappy. Even though we do trap, it's very bright and euphoric in its essence. His remix that came out last year of The Island by Pendulum, that was also of that ilk, and I really enjoyed that. So when it's Skrillex, you know, anything goes with appreciating his music, and even though it is different to the majority of stuff I usually cover on the channel, yeah, it is him, and I'm really enjoying it, I can't lie. And anyway, there are quite a few dark, naughty, heavy bits in there. Now it's time to answer some questions that I wrote for myself before listening to the EP for the first time. Firstly, what were your favourite parts of the EP? I think fundamentally this project is very well cut, the execution is there, I think the transitioning from section to section is really good throughout, I think the ideas are really great, and I think the production overall is very bright and visceral, and I don't really think there are that many moments where I'm not sure what his direction is with what he's doing, in terms of him being sure with the concepts and how he's running with them. Fuji Opener, of course, I love for the fact that he's just brought that idea, that drop that we've now been familiar with for so long, out into the bass limelight. I'm really enjoying that. And also the builds, I'd have to say, underplayed, but they really are so good. Really ramp and hype up the pace before those drops. I think, yeah, that song is particularly cut very well. But I could also say the same for the second track, Mumbai Power. But that, to me, has got a little bit more life to it, a little bit more character and flavour, and they are completely different. So also the way that they contrast, their essence, if you will, their feeling, their overall emotion, and what they kind of give off in that respect is completely different. And that juxtaposition and contrast is a really, really lovely thing to hear. What were your least favourite parts of the EP? I think there are a few moments in both tracks where the sound is slightly off. Either a particular sound or the whole sound not quite giving enough oomph or thwack. As I mentioned, those drops that we finally got for Fuji Opener, yeah, there are points where I do feel like a bit more fleshing out is needed for me to really be hit by it. I do feel like the first time I heard it, by mistake, I hasten to add, it felt a lot more full and rounded. But yeah, that would be the only real drawback I had for that song. There were a couple of other sounds that were a bit off, but within the context of it, I'm really not all that fussed. And then with Mumbai Power, again, there were a couple of sounds that were slightly off. Ones that I heard in the second drop, for example, that just sounded a bit hollow and also a bit abrasive. I think they opened up the second drop, if I'm not mistaken. Really, I can't complain if I'm hearing the odd sound here and there that isn't great. It's very rare that you get a dubstep song that is 100% clean throughout. And Skrillex has done that before, but I don't expect that from him anymore. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's kind of had that moment in his career now where he just excelled and everything he put out was just from front to back exceptional. But this does have its off moments, but again, I'm really not that bothered. What do you make of the EP overall? Gonna keep this one pretty short and simple. This is the best heavy-leaning stuff I've heard from him in a fair while. I know we've had quite a good amount of stuff in that time, from originals to remixes and more, collaborations and whatnot, but I think this one bites the most and has the most cutting-edge feel to it of all of the heavy stuff that I've heard from him in the last few years. I'm talking about kind of Recess onwards, and particularly because it's original stuff from him as well, you know. We've had lighter stuff and we've had stuff that wasn't really fully fledged, or it was him with not quite as much input as you would have thought. But yeah, this feels most like the original him, that which we grew to know and love so long ago now. I know, again, I didn't actually keep that short, but yeah, this overall, it's fucking good. And the final question, was it worth the wait? Let me keep this one short. Show Tracks is by no means perfect, but it runs pretty close. And is it the best heavy-leaning stuff that I've heard from him in a fair while? Hell yeah. And so there we have it, my thoughts on the new Skrillex double-track EP, Show Tracks. What did you guys make of the EP? Do you have a favourite tune of the two? Maybe some moments that you enjoyed in particular? Let me know all of your thoughts, views and opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell along the way. Social media accounts are in the description box down below. For some other live reviews on the channel, check out the link next to my head here. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know guys, so be sure, as always, to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.